Hi, my name is Dan Guzik. I'm a student at Penn State University pursuing a Master's in Information Sciences and Technology. I'm going to use the next 400 seconds to talk about my Fall 2012 Design Studio project, a work in progress that I will refer to as Will You Be My Programmer? Will You Be My Programmer aims to be a fusion of modern technology and contemporary pedagogy in an effort to revise and revitalize the way most introductory computer science classes are taught today. These are two features I've observed to be deficient or misguided from my own experiences in computer science classrooms. I'd like to briefly touch upon this problem before I dive into my own vision further. 20 years ago, a study by the University of Oklahoma found that fewer than 40% of new undergraduates entering with the intent to major in a STEM subject completed that degree within 6 years. More recent studies show slightly better numbers, suggesting 50% retention of STEM students, and computer science does fall under the umbrella of STEM. A maybe 50% retention of students in a field whose importance is only growing is not great. So I, and a great many others, are very interested in exploring how we might turn this around. My means for enacting change lies in a traditional introductory computer science class. You might ask, well, how is one typically taught now? Much the way it was 30 years ago. Students solve homework problems by writing command line C++ or Java applications. A very typical homework problem might read, "This plaintext file contains 2 dates. Tell me which is the more recent of them." An approach might go like this. I need to first get the dates, next compare them, finding the more recent, and finally print a sentence to the terminal saying which is more recent. Wait, what's a terminal? Oh, well, that's that black and white text-only way of getting information into and out of your computer. It's what all computers were back in the 1980s. Well, that seems kind of quaint. Well, okay, anyway. To do that, you first need to compare them using a combination of math and a programming language like C++ or Java. And to mathematically understand the problem isn't enough. You're going to have to write it in a foreign language that's completely new to you as well. And it's not just new, it's an unforgiving language. Because when you make a grammatical error in English, people will probably still understand your sentence. In C++, however, your incorrect line of code might spit out an incomprehensible error message, or it might just crash the program you used to write the code. So when you stack all these obstacles atop one another, it's not surprising that the educational system is practically hemorrhaging computer science students. I mean, they'd look at a full semester of problems like that and be like, "No way, man, I'll be over here on my iPad enjoying modernity." And this is where people like me come in. I think that if we want to retain students beyond the first class, we should strike at least 2 of those obstacles, and let students focus on the underlying math and logic that are at the heart of computer science. Over the course of the fall 2012 semester as a Design Studio student, I tried to demonstrate that this sort of restructuring can be possible with my project, Will You Be My Programmer? Well, the project is still nascent, but I'd like to talk about its vision and demonstrate some of what it will do. Will You Be My Programmer aims to combine visual programming with a gamified lesson plan to excite students new to computer science. Learners will take control of Zoe, the robot dog, in her quest to rescue the scientist that created her from the nefarious League of Cats. Like a traditional computer science class, students will be challenged with logic and math puzzles along the way. However, these puzzles will be thematically united and will serve to drive the plot. For example, when the game opens, Zoe's memory has been almost completely wiped by the cats, and she can't move on her own. Students will learn what an algorithm is by writing instructions on where Zoe should move. Later in the adventure, Zoe can use string methods to scan long newspaper articles for clues about the whereabouts of her scientist creator, a parent figure for her. And the third example of this premise in action, Zoe will eventually discover that the world around her, from the cats plotting against her, to the trees and objects in her immediate environment, they all operate under the same types of rules and algorithms that she does. With this realization, and the ability to reprogram, Zoe will be able to directly change the world around her by reprogramming the properties that define it and the algorithms that control it. My eventual goal is to recreate an entire Computer Science 100 curriculum using this platform. I hope to teach algorithms, variables, counting loops, conditional logic, functions, and more. Since Will You Be My Programmer shouldn't be finished in a single sitting, there will be a login system that will store students' progress to a database. This will also provide the opportunity to collect and analyze learner data in the future. Now, as the project stands right now, there are 2 sandbox levels demonstrating what my project could become in the future. Much of the semester was spent creating and improving the platform that will serve the eventual lessons to students. The project currently stands at around 1,400 lines of code on my part, and is still very much a work in progress. Once the platform is more finalized, I can start to work more diligently on creating lesson plans and acquiring artists. So hopefully this gives you a glimpse into where I'm interested in taking introductory computer science education. Thanks for listening. If you have any questions, you can leave a note below or contact me via the email address in the video description.